So today we have to defend this little bonfire point here, and to do that we are given a single coin, with which we can buy an arrow tower. So we start to wave, a little enemy marches through, just a little bullet point, and then we hit him with bullets, or I guess arrows. We get some money out of it, but that's not enough to buy a second tower, so we have to go through wave 2, which has 2 enemies, go figure. But thankfully once they're both down, now we can get a second arrow tower, and we sorely need it. Look at the army that's coming through here. Oh my goodness. The arrow towers cannot keep up. So I think it's safe to say our bonfire is gonna fall. But we do get some resources out of all the grunts that we defeated. So now we can use those to upgrade, such as making the arrow towers do more damage, which further unlocks even more potential upgrades. And I think they could use a little bit of more fire rate as well. So we just gotta go through the same thing as before in the same order, but now our towers are doing 17, 23, 24 damage. Even better numbers basically. Now wave 3 is the dicey one, but hopefully both of them together can defeat the enemies quickly enough, but it looks like they're still falling behind. We do have a lot of coins here, but we need 25 to get a third arrow tower. So that's sadly not enough. We almost got through that though. 9 more resources, which gives us 10, and that's enough to unlock tower leveling. So now we have the option to upgrade a tower when we get 10 coins, but hopefully enough enemies die quickly enough that we can very rapidly upgrade a tower, like so. Get that? Okay, doing a little more damage. Oh, I think we made it. Oh, just barely, because the tower upgrade gave this guy a little more range. But now it costs 40 coins to level him up again, so that's very not good. Thankfully, we're only 1 coin away from upgrading this tower, so we should definitely do that quickly. Now we might have enough to hold back the horde here, although we're still kinda losing the fight. Just need enough quickly to buy a third arrow tower, and that does it. But now wave 5 is here and we have a big old boss of a pentagon to go through, and I don't think we do enough damage there. And he's not dropping any coins, so we can't upgrade the third tower here. We can get him down to halfway, maybe a third left, but sadly he just one-shots the camp. Thankfully though, he also gives resources based on how much damage we do, so we can increase the number of tokens we get from defeated enemies. I think that's a worthy investment. And then we can also increase the amount of coins that we start to run with once, maybe twice? Sure, let's do twice, and then more damage. So now we have 11 coins at the start. That's enough to get 2 towers right away, which instantly decimates the first wave. I love it. And now we can already upgrade one of the towers. So wave 3 should go a lot better, especially because we're doing so much more damage. The enemies can't even get in line with the towers. Very good. Upgrade the second one. And then hopefully after this one, we can get a third tower and upgrade it before the boss shows up. We can also just leave the money piling right there, which is kind of a fun visual. No bodies, only coins. 41 of them to be exact. A third arrow tower, can we get a fourth? No, that's 75. But at least we can get it to level 2 as well. We might have been able to get one of these initial ones to level 3, but I think 3 level 2 towers might be enough to get rid of this boss. At least I sure hope so. He's still going through, but it's gonna be close, I think. Come on, just one more. Yes, we got him! 55 tokens from the boss, and we got a fun little star for completing the level. So we got 86 tokens total from that wave. Very good. Now there is also a coin cannon ability that we can get with this, which is something that we can do to fire a coin, dealing 20 to 30 damage and consuming the coin. I kind of want to save the coins if I can help it, but we can certainly get a slow tower. Ooh, and get some fun things like slow enemies taking more damage, and more bonus tokens. So now we get to go to another map, which has a fun little U-turn here. I think this will be a good spot for the slow tower, so we can get one of those. And then since the slowed enemies take more damage, let's put the first arrow tower that we get right here. Can we get a second? We can. So let's get that over here. Now the first wave here is already looking pretty crazy, but at least the slowed enemies are indeed taking more damage, although there's still enough of them that our towers are kind of being overrun, even with the help of the slowdown tower. That's a yikes. But we can give our arrow towers a chance to critically hit, which deals 50% more damage by default. Maybe that'll be enough. And maybe having the arrow towers earlier would be better, although it's a little hard to tell. Ooh, but there was a crit for 42. So I think we are taking out slightly more enemies. And thankfully the arrow tower here is still targeting the front one, but there's still too many of them making it through, unfortunately. And we don't have much for tokens now, but we have enough to upgrade the damage again. So now the enemies go down in 2 hits, which means that the towers, as long as they can fire a little bit faster or have the enemies slow down often enough, can make it through this whole wave. It's very close. There's plenty of wounded enemies getting through. Oh no, that's enough to take out the bonfire. Oh, shoot. But at least that's enough to raise the camp health if we want to. Maybe a little bit, and then a coin converter, even though we don't have a successful run on this level yet. We probably could go back to the first level to collect some tokens, but I think it might also be good to just upgrade a tower before the wave is even done, which should give it just enough range to take out a few more enemies here thanks to the slowdown, and only 1 made it through. Okay, that's still good. We're still in this. And now we can add, either another slowdown tower or another arrow tower. I think another arrow tower. So now we're on to wave 2. Okay, and there's bigger circle enemies. Oh, great. And they have a lot more health. Oh my goodness. Not good, very not good. At least they get slowed down all the same, but sadly, those guys making it through are gonna take out our camp. Oh, they do 3 damage to it, but at least they give more tokens for defeating them. I feel like our towers would do better if they had better fire rates, so we can do that. And then marking an enemy lets them take more damage and become the priority. That should be helpful. That should let us take care of the big enemies and maybe some that are just being a little more difficult to get through. Or we can mark all these smaller enemies individually just to let them take a little bit more damage maybe. But we also have enough for another arrow tower here, so let's just plug that in. That works out very nicely. And the slowdown actually takes 25 coins to level up itself. Well, at least we can level up this first one. I feel like that might be the better one to level up, just because it's that initial contact. Now we can prioritize the big enemies, which means they take more damage, although that might not be good later on, just because not every tower can reach them. So we still lose, unfortunately, but at least we're getting plenty of tokens. Although I think we could do more if we had more initial coins. So slow down, and we still have 11 left over, so that's 2 towers right away, which we kind of could already do before. But this does mean that we can get a 3rd tower earlier, and then level up, I think this one, I'm not really sure, but now we can level up a 2nd tower, so let's level up the front 2, which should mean that the big guy can go down even better with 2 level 2 towers fighting it. And thankfully it looks like it does. And then we can get the 3rd one to level 2 as well. And then come on, get rid of the big one. He does the most damage. Oh, we got him. Get it. No, it wasn't enough. The tower shot, but it was too late. Ooh, I do like this auto mark though. If no enemy is marked, then the one closest to the holdout camp will be marked automatically. So the front one is always taking more damage. I do like that idea. It would be nice if our front tower was strong enough to one-shot these small enemies on its own, but the 2 of them together I think is doing well enough. And it also helps marking the enemies when they're overlapping like this and we end up marking the wrong one, but it's still working okay, and we might actually make it through this wave. Should probably upgrade that tower there though. Okay, that actually did it. Oh, wave 2 complete. And we can level up the slowdown tower, which gives that a little more range. And I think it extended the slow duration too, maybe. I sure hope so. This is all big enemies. Oh gosh. Need way more crits happening. Or actually, not doing too bad. There isn't as many as I was worried there was gonna be. Just keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it going, keep it going. Oh no. Well, at least we know what to expect there. 73 tokens that time. Ooh, raise the number of coins dropped by defeated enemies. That would help us get upgrades sooner, but I think our tower ultimately needs more damage dealt. Oh, interesting. When a slowed enemy takes direct damage, 3% of it is also dealt to all other slowed enemies. That could be a lot. Not sure if it's enough to make a difference, but we can also have the marked enemies take 5% more damage. So that should be a pretty good carryover if the marked enemy is taking all the damage, and some of it does pass on to the other enemies. But it's not very much of it. At least it's enough to guarantee one-shots from towers. And we actually got through that without installing a 3rd arrow tower. I like this. And now at level 2, this front one can one-shot the smaller enemies. I like it. And that was a 99, 104 crit? Wow. I'm not sure if that is damage every individual shot or if it's accumulative, but I love it. So now everything is level 2 going into this wave. I hope it's enough. It would be nice if the extended damage was enough to one-shot the smaller enemies, but I hope we can get through this. We really can't. Maybe we need more slowdown towers here. Can the slowdown stack, I wonder? Well, in any case, we can't buy too much. raise the arrow tower's critical hit damage. That would make it 75% extra damage, which should help take out the big guys better. And there is also stronger slowdown over here. Might as well get that once. So the next slowdown tower costs 25. I think those are gonna be good on the corners, but we will worry about that once we get all the other towers leveled up. So hopefully we get 25 coins a lot quicker, which the extra crits are handling very nicely. This front tower almost took out an entire big enemy all by itself. Just needed a little bit more. Another slowdown. That was kind of in the wrong spot, I think. Probably should have put it over here. That might cost us. Oh dear, I think it's gonna cost us. Yeah. At least now we can afford more damage. And of course I installed that tower over there in the wrong spot this time, but our front tower should be good enough to take out a fair portion of these on its own. And the enemies end up going down in the same spot anyways, even before installing that other tower there to fix my mistake. But I think now we're at the point where we need to install upgrades as soon as we get them, instead of waiting for the wave to be done. Now we'll just be ready to install the slow tower over here, because that's where the enemies are gonna end up by the time we can afford it. Which is right now? It's right now. So more slowdown should be happening, and that does it. I think, yes! We got through wave 3! Oh goodness. And now a new tower for either one costs 75, but we can get this one to level 25 if we want, or we wait to get a tower to level 3 for 40. I'm not really sure what enemy we're gonna face, but at least we have enough to upgrade this one. Okay, a lot of small red enemies. Our tower here can one-shot those well enough, although I feel like we might get overrun here pretty soon. That's actually a lot of them. Thankfully, the damage is carrying over to all of them. Maybe this tower can get to level 3, and that seems to work pretty well. We have a lot of money here, almost enough to get a third tower, which should we have that be a slow or an arrow tower? I feel like for the sake of symmetry, we make that a slow tower, which I think will work well enough. Slowdown tower there, not enough to level it up yet, but it looks like the slowdown does stack, I think, or at least it refreshes the duration. So now those big enemies are being dealt with. Oh, I sure hope they are. Okay, they are, good. This tower here has a lot of range, and we can almost get that to level 4? Wow. Probably get this one up to par though, and then you as well to level 3. Here's boss again with a lot more health this time. At least he also gets slowed down. But now it really makes me wish I put an arrow tower there instead. And we only have enough to upgrade the slowdown tower here. I hope this is not nearly enough. This is not enough damage being dealt here. Just do as much damage as you can so we can get a whole bunch of tokens. It is pretty satisfying when they all fire in sequence though, but sadly that wasn't nearly enough. 221 tokens though, and we did get through 60% of his health. And there's some other upgrades over here that we haven't even seen yet, so let's spend a little bit on the coin drops. That would actually help. Ooh, arrow towers have a chance to drop coins when they attack? Well, that's cool. Towers automatically level up when enough coins are available, starting with the least expensive first. I don't think I like this. I'll definitely take this though. And then slowed enemies taking more damage, which should help us take care of the boss. At least this front tower can one-shot all the enemies. Really need a faster fire rate though. I feel like that's what's holding us back from doing extra good. Thankfully though, the extra coin droppage lets us level up all 3 arrow towers to level 2. And I can't really tell if it's the arrow tower dropping these coins anymore, but we just got a lot of them. So let's brace for another slowdown tower right there. Get that to level 2. Ooh, 122 crit right off the bat. Very nice. Now this next wave, we shouldn't need to worry too much about any more upgrades, so let's accumulate and then see how much money we end up with. That way we know how to distribute it for the future waves, which we are getting over 100 coins here. Very nice. And the extra damage from slowdown proximity is really whittling down those small red enemies very nicely. But let's see, do we put another arrow tower here? I feel like that's gonna be needed. And then we get you leveled up to 3. And oh, I guess we over leveled that. Let's get this one here up to level 3 now. So maybe 4 arrow towers is the way to go. It certainly is stopping the giant enemies, or not giant enemies, the bigger enemies earlier. And then we get you as well because you're gonna be the first one to fight the boss. And now we have 89 coins to distribute. So level 3 there, and that's about all we can do because it costs 100 to get the next level. But if we just get more crits from the towers, then we might actually have a chance against the boss here. This guy can actually reach into the far side. Ooh, that means all these ones can as well. That's extra good. And they are dropping coins on attacks, which is nice but we are still kind of struggling to get through the boss here, and it's still not enough. But we did do more damage to him that time, so the 4 arrow tower setup is good. More attack speed, so that's maxed out now. And then we can get early spawn if we want, which does grant additional coins that might be good for level ups. Plus, I'm kind of curious about what this upgrade is here. So we can buy that once and then refund it if we want. Time challenge, and it rewards a different kind of token for quick clears? Interesting, what do these upgrades do? So these cost those token upgrades, which includes more fire rate, but also an interesting rewind ability. Each time an enemy is slowed, it has a 5% chance to teleport back to the position it was in 1 second earlier? Wow, I kind of want to see what the time challenge is on level 1 in that case, which is 45 seconds. Well, thankfully we know that just going through this with all arrow towers is enough, and then we can start the next wave early, and then start wave 4 early because we can keep up with all of this. More arrow towers there, and then another arrow tower here. Not quite yet, but more level ups. And then level up you, start that. Gotta keep the time going good. I haven't noticed if it pauses on in between rounds, but more level ups seems to always be the way to go. And there's the big guy right there. So we just have to take him out quickly and then we win the time challenge. And thankfully that is very easy to do, yes. 1 token. And I kind of do like the chance from the rewind. Oh, this is the base fire rate of all towers. The one over here was just the arrow towers. I feel like the rewind is hilarious. Plus with more slowdown towers that can happen more frequently. So let's get this upgrade, which surprisingly there is more. Can we redo the time challenge here? Can we just spam the time challenges so we go through this a lot faster? I almost feel like we can, but I wouldn't be surprised if we couldn't. Oh, it's green now, so I guess we've already done it, which means we don't need to worry about it anymore. Well, that's unfortunate. At least we get more tokens to use, which is fine by me because that means we can get more damage here, and also more marked damage. Now, the time challenge here is 85 seconds, which I think we can do. Ooh, that one just teleported back. Do you see that? It moved ever so slightly back, so at least it works, thankfully. And then that is still ticking even in the downtime. Okay, more slowdown here, I think. We can put the arrow tower here, but I also forgot we kind of need to upgrade these towers as well, so making sure we do all of that well enough. And then just start the next wave as soon as it's done, so we can move pretty quickly, but not risk loss on speed up time. Or maybe we can when there's only a few enemies left, but sadly that also speeds up this wave, which is kind of concerning. We need an arrow tower here very quickly. There it is. And then enough to level it up, level it up. Oh dear, this might cost us, but actually we're doing it. Wow. We're not gonna get the time trial this time, unfortunately, because we still have another wave to go through and then the boss, and I wanna make sure we go through this at least once. But at least we have plenty of upgrade materials to use now. So all of our arrow towers are at level 3, I think? And then the boss is here. Let's upgrade. Well, actually we can't really anymore unless the arrow towers drop coins, but hopefully he also gets hit by the slowdown teleport back move. We are getting a lot of crits out the door to be sure. My goodness, he's just being peppered by everything. Come on, it's so close. It's so close. It's so close. Just a few more hits, we got him. Yes. Oh, that got very close. But now we can access another star ability, which there isn't very many left. There's one over here. There's actually one here that costs 2 stars, which we could refund actually from something. But what is this? Explosive grunts. Spawned grunts, the red ones, have a 15% chance to become explosive. That sounds like a fun time. The other ones are also like arrow multi-crits and also arrow multi-shots, which might be interesting to explore if we refund these slowdown towers maybe. But let's get the explosive grunts, which also unlocks those upgrades. Raise the explosion damage by more and more chance for explosive grunts to spawn, sure. And then more starting coins, because I think we need those. Let's just max that out. And then more token drops, because these are getting very expensive. But now we're on to level 3, which is a 6. Okay, so I feel like they're gonna come through the middle here, and then up, and then over. So an arrow tower here would have plenty of action, or it might actually have been better to have the middle be slowing down towers. We could definitely have another arrow tower over here, and then we can't afford a third, but maybe a slowdown tower through here would be good. And then level up this one. And sure enough, wave 1, whoa, new type of enemy. Hold on, what are you guys? Oh, they are very speedy, but thankfully they're weak. Okay, so this setup actually is doable. Maybe? It's definitely not with just one tower, but the two of them together I think is enough. Or we kind of need a third arrow tower here. Oh, please do it. Ow. At least our bonfire survived, but it took a hit. Well, let's get this guy leveled up to 2. Oh dear, more fast enemies right away. At least they can one-shot. Ooh, and there was one of the explosive grunts. And there's a purple one there too. It'd be nice if we could focus the explosive ones, which we kind of can, but that also costs us in the long run because of those runners. And sadly, we don't have enough for other upgrades except for maybe a stronger slowdown. Sure, but maybe we can dial back a bit and do the time trial of the second level now that we know that we can pass this one normally. Plus, this also has the explosive grunts now, which should make things a little easier. And I kind of just want a 4th arrow tower as soon as possible as well. So that works good. And then we should probably start this one early because I know we can get through this, even though the big guys are a little tankier, so that might be risky. It's kind of funny how the slowdown still drops them down to dramatic levels. And hopefully this is enough. I think it is. Okay, we're still good on time here. So next wave, should we just start the next one and include the boss? I think that's a terrible idea. But we also have a lot of money here that I didn't realize, so we should definitely get the rest of these towers up to snuff. And that slowdown tower as well, start that. Too bad we can't speed him up. We have to beat him in 20 seconds or so, which the slowdown is a little counterintuitive to that. But once he's in the middle, let's upgrade this one. 5 more seconds. Oh, I don't think we're gonna get it. We are definitely faster, but it's still not good for the time trial. Not by a long shot, wow. At least we also get the coin conversion, which is a terrible conversion rate actually. But I do like being able to afford another damage upgrade, so there's only one more left to get here. And then maybe more slowdown amount. So let's do a slowdown in the middle here, and then have some arrow towers around the outside. I think that's gonna be the best spot for them, maybe. Although it's a little weird because they're not getting damaged right away either. And there is already a lot of them, which sadly, oh, that's what happens. The initial guys take the mark, so the runners can just scoot through without being marked. Well, that's dangerous. And we also already need another tower up here, which is a terrible spot to need a tower. That was way worse than before, but now we know how the runners work. And we could get another health upgrade, which is actually the maximum, so I guess might as well. But I feel like having this middle section here only be slowdowns is a waste of real estate. So arrow tower here, and then another one over here, sure. And then a slowdown on the backside. Ooh, and the front one's explosive. That's helpful. But now we need to make sure that the runners get marked, which thankfully they do because the grunts die quickly enough. So this is working better for sure. Just see more arrow towers on this loop here. It's too bad there's not a lot of points to put down a tower. But thankfully we have enough to get all of those, and then all the runners can be taken out very quickly, but there's a second wave of runners too. So we definitely need a slowdown here, I think. Oh dear. At least our bonfire survived. But we also need to get this middle tower leveled up a lot quicker. Thankfully the explosion was left at the end. So now we're on to wave 3 for the first time. Ooh, and there's a lot of explosive grunts. I love this. All the explosions, yes! Now, please give me another arrow tower over here. Thank you. And then level you up. My goodness, this is a lot of enemies. Good thing they're explosive. They're all going down around this choke point here. They can't even get past the first corner. That's super good. I also didn't realize how much money we were holding on to. Should probably level up some of these other things. And get this guy to level 4 now? Absolutely. And he can reach up to here too. That's super good. I didn't realize how much time we were wasting. But now we have a whole bunch of giant enemies to go through. Oh my goodness. Why can't some of these be explosive? The shocking thing is they are also going down pretty quickly. They're just barely making it past the first corner. We need this guy to be level 4 as well, I think. Thankfully, he can reach down there now. So we're actually doing this pretty well. And now it's probably a giant wave of runners, which thankfully are squishy. And we can get you up to level 3 because I didn't realize you weren't level 3, and then level 4. Very good. We're still doing this. And should we get this guy to level 3? Since he can hit that area, I think yes. Oh, now these guys can't even enter the map without getting blasted right away. Oh, that's tragic, but it's so good. And thankfully, the slowdown is holding back these guys enough for the towers over here to catch up with them. But now a 5th arrow tower costs 150. Goodness. Thankfully, we don't need that, even though we do have 150. Okay, now I think the next one is wave 7 with the boss. So let's get an arrow tower down here now. We should have enough to get you to a decent level. And sure enough, it is the boss with 50,000 HP. At least the hits are dropping coins again, so that's good. Ooh, and the boss is getting rewound. good. I was hoping he could. Now, please do it more often if you don't mind. You have a lot of track to go through, so I hope it happens more than once. Okay, he's about halfway through the map, but also halfway dead, so this is very promising. We might actually be able to do this. I think we can do this. We're losing range of other towers, but we have another slowdown here, and hopefully these two can finish him off. Actually, this one will kick back in pretty soon. Come on, do it, do it. Yes, yes, no, it was right there. 99% of his health. Oh my goodness, you're kidding. More, I need more power. More damage from slowdowns. And more crit chance, and more marked damage. And you know what? More crits, so a 30% chance to crit. I wonder if I can do this pretty quickly too now. I sure hope we can. We can start this next wave. Oh gosh, that might have been a mistake. I just wanted it for the extra coinage, but now they're going too fast. Yikes. We don't talk about that. Just need to make sure we get systems in place as soon as we can afford them. And this wave is actually pretty okay because it's all the small grunts. And there's a lot of explosive ones too. And I think some of them are getting a little bit of a chain reaction almost. But either way, that is a super good round for collecting money. So now we have arrow towers in a lot of spots, to say the least. But now this big wave is annoying. Thankfully though, it's not so annoying that it isn't doable. We just happen to fall short a few times for upgrades. And to add another arrow tower is 300. But I think we might be able to save all this money for upgrading. We can upgrade 2 towers to level 4. So that should be good, hopefully. And then slowdowns, more upgrades. It does increase the slow duration a little bit more, and the amount, but I feel like we could do more with that if we put it towards damage towers like this, especially ones that can reach all the way to the center lane. And I guess we can get you to level 2 or 3, just in time for the boss, which with a 30% crit chance is damaging this guy so much more. So now he's not even halfway through and he's already halfway dead. This is so much better. There we go, and yes! He had a nice amount of health right at the end and then 0. Another level complete with another star. But unfortunately, that is also the last level of the demo. At least we can put that star towards, I don't know, a coin cannon, sure. And then this is damage increase. A lot of fun upgrades here. I'd like to see if there's any more in the full game. And if you guys would also like to see the full game for Outhold, then be sure to let me know. Thank you for watching and sub to Intern.